Welcome to Star Bios, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating lives of Hollywood's most iconic stars. I'm your host, Casey Gold, and today we're shining the spotlight on the incomparable W.C. Fields, a comedic genius whose wit, charm, and irreverent style continue to captivate audiences to this day. Born William Claude Dukenfield on January 29, 1880, in Darby, Pennsylvania, a small town just outside of Philadelphia, W.C. Fields grew up in a world that was both familiar and foreign to the one we know today. His childhood home, a modest dwelling on Main Street, was nestled between the bustling streets of Darby and the rolling hills of the surrounding countryside. It's a charming setting that seems almost tailor-made for the development of a young comedian. Fields' family background is a fascinating aspect of his early life. His father, James Dukenfield, was a hotel manager and later a successful restaurateur, who instilled in William a strong work ethic and a keen sense of observation. James Dukenfield's own life story is worth noting. He was a self-made man who rose from humble beginnings to become a respected member of the community. This rags-to-riches narrative would later influence W.C. Fields' comedic style, which often poked fun at the pretensions of the upper class. W.C. Fields' mother, Kate Spangler Dukenfield, was a strong-willed woman who played a significant role in shaping her son's personality and interests. A former schoolteacher, she encouraged William's love of reading and learning and instilled in him a sense of confidence and determination. The Dukenfields were a close-knit family, and their home was filled with warmth, laughter, and lively conversation, all of which would later become hallmarks of W.C. Fields' comedic style. As we explore the early life of W.C. Fields, it's clear that his experiences, relationships, and surroundings all contributed to the development of his unique personality and comedic style. From his humble beginnings in Darby, Pennsylvania, to his early days as a young performer, Fields was already laying the foundation for a career that would make him one of the most beloved comedians of his generation. The historical context of W.C. Fields' early years is also worth noting. The late 19th century was a time of great change and growth in the United States, with the rise of industrialization, urbanization, and immigration transforming the country. Philadelphia, where Fields spent much of his childhood, was a city of vibrant cultural and economic activity, with a thriving theater scene that would later become an important part of his career. As a young boy, W.C. Fields attended local schools in Darby and nearby Philadelphia, where he developed a passion for reading, writing, and performance. He was a curious and imaginative child, often getting into mischief and mayhem, traits that would later serve him well as a comedian. Fields' early life was also marked by a series of moves, as his family relocated to various parts of the city in search of new opportunities. Despite these changes, W.C. Fields remained deeply rooted in his community, and his experiences growing up in Darby and Philadelphia would later influence many of his comedic routines. From the colorful characters that populated the streets of South Philadelphia to the vibrant cultural attractions of the city's theater district, Fields' early life was a rich tapestry of people, places, and events that would shape his comedic style and inspire some of his most memorable performances. Fields, his remarkable rise to stardom, and the achievements that cemented his place in the pantheon of Hollywood legends. As we move on to the next chapter in Fields' life, we find him making a name for himself in the world of entertainment. With a strong foundation in juggling, magic, and physical comedy, Fields began performing in local theaters and music halls, honing his craft and developing his signature style. His big break came in 1906 when he joined the Orpheum Circuit, a prestigious vaudeville troupe that toured the United States and Canada. Fields' time on the Orpheum Circuit was a defining period in his career. He perfected his juggling act, which became one of the most popular and enduring aspects of his performances. He also began to develop his comedic persona, a lovable curmudgeon with a quick wit and a sharp tongue. This character would become a hallmark of Fields' comedy, and he would continue to refine it throughout his career. In 1915, Fields made his Broadway debut in the Ziegfeld Follies, a revue that showcased some of the biggest stars of the time. His performances were met with critical acclaim, and he quickly became a favorite among audiences. He went on to appear in numerous other stage productions, including the 1923 play Poppy, which was written specifically for him by Dorothy Donnelly. The 1920s and 1930s were a prolific period for Fields, as he transitioned from stage to screen and began appearing in films. His early movies, such as Sally of the Sawdust and It's the Old Army Game, showcased his comedic talents and established him as a star of the silent era. As the talkies emerged, Fields continued to thrive, adapting his style to the new technology and delivering some of his most iconic performances. Films like The Bank Dick and My Little Chickadee, which he starred in alongside Mae West, cemented his status as one of Hollywood's top comedians. Throughout his career, Fields was known for his meticulous attention to detail and his perfectionism. He was a master of physical comedy, and his juggling act remained a staple of his performances. But he was also a skilled writer and director, and many of his films featured clever scripts and innovative camera work. Despite his success, Fields' personal life was often tumultuous. He was known for his heavy drinking and his troubled relationships with women. However, these struggles also informed his comedy, and he often incorporated elements of his personal life into his performances. As we explore the career highlights and creative breakthroughs that defined W.C. Fields, it's clear that his unique blend of physical comedy, clever writing, and lovable curmudgeonliness has had a lasting impact on American comedy. From his early days in vaudeville to his later success in film, Fields remained true to his artistic vision, always pushing the boundaries of what was possible and leaving audiences in stitches. As we move on to the final chapter in Fields' life, we find him facing the challenges of aging and declining health. Despite these obstacles, Fields continued to work tirelessly, appearing in films such as Never Give a Sucker an Even Break and My Little Chickadee, which showcased his enduring comedic talents. His performances remained sharp and witty, and he continued to delight audiences with his signature blend of physical comedy and clever writing. In the 1940s, Fields' personal life became increasingly reclusive. He suffered from a series of illnesses, including a heart condition and pneumonia, which forced him to slow down his pace. However, even in his later years, Fields remained committed to his craft, continuing to write and perform whenever possible. His dedication to comedy was unwavering, and he inspired countless younger comedians with his unique style and irrepressible spirit. One of the most significant aspects of Fields' legacy is his influence on American comedy. He paved the way for future generations of comedians, including legends like Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, and the Marx Brothers. His innovative use of physical comedy, clever writing, and satire raised the bar for comedians everywhere, and his impact can still be seen in comedians today. Fields' passing on December 25, 1946, marked the end of an era in American comedy. However, his legacy lives on through his films, which continue to delight audiences around the world. His influence can be seen in everything from The Muppet Show to Saturday Night Live, and his comedic style remains a timeless classic. As we conclude our exploration of W.C. Fields' life and career, it's clear that he was a true original, a master of comedy who left an indelible mark on American entertainment. His unique blend of physical comedy, clever writing, and lovable curmudgeonliness has inspired countless comedians and continues to delight audiences today. That's all for today's Star Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Casey Gold, reminding you to keep shooting for the stars.